What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Death Ratio Show. It is episode 28, Tuesday, August 13th. I should probably edit my things a little bit more before I start doing this. Guys, I am your host, Devin Stanford, aka Reverend Devin the Dude, and I am joined by two of my lovely little shitheads today.
Mm-hmm.
The Mr. is Twitch's very own DJ Sinfix. What's up, Mr.
What's up, brother?
Not much. Chilling, worked all day, been working a lot, been doing a lot of stuff. My head's spinning, but I'm fucking here. How about you, dude?
I'm doing good, dude. I've been chilling. I had Jack in the Box today, dude. Fucking ate some good curly fries and shit like that.
Nice.
That's a large ass drink the size of my head.
I had Jack in the Box like last week, and it is probably like the slowest drive-through I've gone through in forever. I was on my lunch break. I only get 30-minute lunches, which I don't mind because I get off work early, you know. And I'm like sitting there waiting to grab my food, and I'm like, the fuck?
Dude, that's like every Del Taco around here. I feel like they're so slow.
I'm like, why am I was like, I've been here for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, that like impatient feeling where you're just like, you want to like poke your head out of the car and you're like, what's going on? You know?
Mm-hmm.
That was me the other day. But I got their munchie meal last time I went.
Oh,
what did you get?
A munchie meal.
What comes in a munchie meal?
Choices. Lots of choices.
It's like an option. It's like an options meal. Dude, I haven't. We actually only have like one Jack in the Box. They like just opened a Jack in the Box here.
Really?
Yeah, like we didn't have one until like last year, I think.
It's okay. It's not my favorite.
It's there, you know. I feel like it's like something you have to like really crave to go out of your way for. Otherwise, it's just like you pass by Jack in the Box, you're like, oh hey, Jack in the Box, but you wouldn't go in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's basically how I feel about like Jack in the Box. Because I mean, I grew up in California and like they're everywhere there, but like. Like even then, like that was like not a frequent like fast food stop for like my family.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't. We just didn't go to Jack in the Box.
The best thing about Jack in the Box is the curly fries. And if you're shit faced, those tacos.
But you can just go. I feel like you can just get that at Arby's though.
Yeah, but
who wants to go to Arby's, dude?
Oh, dude, fuck off. Arby's is better, honestly.
Fuck Arby's, dude.
Arby's is better. Arby's is better. I had free
Arby's for a year once, and like I literally used it all, and I can't go to Arby's anymore.
There's another yeah, that's the other conversation. But before we get into that conversation, we are also joined by the man himself who had free Arby's for a year, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton.
It's like,
all right, what
meeting anyone who's won a sweepstake or anything, dude, like I feel like they're legends.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
How do you get free Arby's for a year?
Dude, literally, like I just they just happened to be opening one like literally like a block away from like where the apartment I was living at like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was like the first 50 people that like went to this brand new Arby's like would get like they would get like these stamp cards and you could redeem them for like free Arby's for a year. So my brother and I went, and like basically the stipulation was that like it was like one per household, but even though we were living in the same apartment, our driver's license didn't have the same addresses on. So we both got free Arby's for a year. And dude, we were literally just going to just literally leaving the apartment and just walking or driving to the Arby's. It's like fucking constantly. And dude, I literally like I would just mix it up. I went through like the Arby's like menu, and I can't go to Arby's.
I would too, dude, if I fucking got free.
I got a question. Did like the people that work there just like start rolling their eyes after you show?
I can definitely feel that like about halfway through the year they were fucking tired of us giving them the punch cards for like the free food.
It's so
Hey,
funny.
man, look.
I could tell they were fucking over it because like
Here.
I bet I have a feeling that nobody else like committed, but like I used every single fucking one.
They're like, no, this fucking guy,
You
dude.
ate Arby's for a full year.
Hey, man,
for a
I
full
do
year,
it too,
dude.
dude. I'd shamelessly pull up. I'd be
Look-
like, hey, man.
Yeah,
Put the
dude.
fries
I
in the bag.
You
literally
say
yeah.
shamelessly, but they probably have some of the healthiest sandwiches in the entire fast food menu.
Yeah, honestly, I ended up like settling on the Euro as like my go-to. Like after a while, like
But the
I
Euro
like I
tastes
worked my
nice.
way through the menu and like the Euro. I really liked the Euros. Either that or like
Dude,
I
that
love
turkey club sandwich
Everything else there is
really
disgusting.
good.
I'm sorry.
was it the brisket?
Everything else there.
The
No,
brisket
Look, man,
sandwich?
turkey
All I'm
club
saying
sandwich.
is, all I'm saying, my favorite fast food restaurants, they don't do that fucking sweepstakes shit. They don't need to, okay? They don't need to win you over, all right? They don't, because their food is just good. They don't have
That's
to
fair.
ring you in
What's
for
your favorite? What's your favorite fast food? Cane's.
Hey, man, all reliables, always fucking Wendy's, dude.
Wendy's is pretty. Wendy's slaps.
Wendy's slaps.
Wendy's slaps.
Okay?
I'm not even gonna
look,
argue that.
Limited menu. Close second is Taco Bell. Close
I
second.
mean, yeah.
Taco Bell- Taco Bell for me.
yeah,
Taco
yeah,
Bell for
yeah.
me.
I'm
I
like,
can respect that.
I think I like Taco Bell more than Wendy's personally.
There's more variety. You can definitely get.
and
a
then
lot
that's
more.
why. And you know, it's like most places when you eat fast food, you just feel like shit afterwards. There's certain menu items, not everything. Certain menu items I can get at Taco Bell where I just feel
Oh
completely
yeah,
fine.
you get up for because
Yeah.
it
I
is
feel like
healthy.
I've
It's
built
actually
up like an immunity.
actually
to
one of the
Taco
healthiest
Bell.
places
Yeah.
to eat.
Yeah, I got like an
Genuinely,
iron
actually
stomach.
one of the healthiest places to eat.
But Wendy's, man, especially like back in the day, dude, just getting like
I fuck with the bacon.
Oh, dude, with the
Dude.
yellow box. Oh
yeah,
my
you
fucking
get the
God,
yellow
dude.
box, dude. There was
Yeah.
nothing like getting like a small fry, a cup of chili, and like
Mm.
a fucking like bacon cheeseburger with a frosty. Just like
Mm.
that was like one of my favorite meals.
I'm just
Of
saying,
all
like, I
time.
haven't had a bad experience at Wendy's. Like at Taco Bell,
Can't say
you
the
like
same.
with the wide variety of menu, like you could stumble upon something that you don't fucking like at all, or whoever made it fucking just slammed.
You
that
know what
shit
I do
together
not
like it was like a fucking Jackson Pollock painting.
Their steak.
Um,
Their steak always makes me feel sick if I eat their steak.
Dude, oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
fuck
At
no,
Taco Bell?
never steak,
yeah.
never steak.
never
at Taco,
get steak at Taco
never.
Yeah,
Bell. I always
never
do
get the
chicken.
steak.
Never.
Yeah,
That is-
I'm chicken. I'll eat the ground beef stuff, but I
Oh, yeah.
prefer the chicken over everything,
Yeah,
especially
chicken-
the shredded chicken. The shredded chicken.
I like
Or
the
the
ground beef.
cantina
I don't
chicken.
because I
Cantina
don't know.
chicken.
I'll
I
eat
like
the
this
beef.
pasty quality. I like the pasty quality.
You like the pasty quality?
Yeah, I do, 'cause it's
just
like- it's
said,
its own
I
thing.
like soggy, crunchy
It's the own
tacos.
thing, dude. Fuck it.
Hey, man, I ain't
Fuck it. You
knocking
know
it.
what? It's an experience because you know why, dude? Because when I get it, you know, like, or I get it and I let it sit, dude. It's just that top part that's crunchy and then it gets mushy at the. I low key like
Dude,
that.
I
low-key-
low-key
I
hate that.
low-key
DJ,
love the
Although-
DJ, I'm with you there. Actually,
I
dude,
hate
that's like when it tastes the best to me. It's when it's just a
That's
little
what I'm
softer. It's like it's the dual texture. I fuck with it. I
But
fuck with it.
I
That's why I want-
love their double stack taco that they're doing right now.
Yes,
Oh,
those
really?
are delicious.
Those
I
are
like that.
really good, and
They're-
they put like the
cheesy
nacho,
gordita
like a
crunch
little bit
without
of
all the extra.
yeah, and it has like a little bit of nacho cheese in between the
Just a
soft
little
and the hard.
It's like
Oh,
the
so
glue.
good.
It's just the glue.
So, yeah, it's and
Also,
it,
shout out to Esco.
Yeah.
33 months, 2 years in a row, 24 months. That's 2
Esco,
years in a
Esco,
row.
crazy.
Esco. Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah,
Love you,
yeah.
Esco.
Yeah. But we're not talking about Taco Bell because today we're talking about rushing back from the dead. Is that really dead? And much, much more, because this is Good Kraken's Death Ratio, where we're slashing through the podcast space to be your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday in it at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. In it. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services, wherever you like to watch or listen. But if you spent all your credits at another shop, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. I should just like bust out a radio voice, just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude,
If
we
you
did a
have
whole
Amazon
what if you did a whole
Prime,
episode of
tell them,
transatlantic
DJ.
accent? Prime Gaming.
That's right. You also have Twitch Prime, and we'd love for you to give that to us to help us level up our game. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, like clicking that beautiful bell or big red button by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio and leaving a review there. I had to sound like a content creator on TikTok, for a second.
Yeah. You gotta loop
we
it
should
too at the end.
absolutely do a transatlantic accent episode. I would commit to that bit.
Dude, I would too.
I would practice and everything.
Yeah, I feel like I could just do it. Just
And we
boom.
all have like the compressed filter on our
Just have
microphone
a
to talk
filter
like
over-
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Oh, Erdell's actually down. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Guys,
Erdell
we
will
got
be
some
the
critical
buzzkill here.
hits for all you listens out there who's listening to this in audio format and you do not watch us
I did that.
on
I fucking did that
YouTube.
months ago.
Go to our YouTube and watch the shit out of all of our videos.
There's
all
so
you
much.
listens out there, please.
There's so much.
There's like over 460.
Literal hundreds.
Yeah.
Literal hundreds.
I remember I was at a gathering this last weekend and I had a friend asking like what I do now because I haven't seen them in years, and I told him, I was like, well, I do this stupid podcast, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny, we'll talk about video games, movies, and stuff, and they're like, oh really, that's cool. All I do is watch podcasts. I love YouTube. So I was like, okay, yeah, check this out. And he goes on to subscribe to us. He's like, 400 fucking episodes. What the fuck? And I'm just
You're
like,
we've been at it.
yeah. He's like, I'm gonna. So he's subbed right there. So like, we'll see what if he shows more people. But yeah, that was funny.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That's how it gets done.
exactly. Guys, episode 131 of the Shipwreck Show is now available wherever you like to watch or listen, especially on that thing we were just talking about called the YouTube.
The
If you-
boob tube.
Mhm.
If you go on the YouTube,
The boob tube.
you can find Good Kraken on there. And then on the
Yeah.
YouTube, you can watch Good Kraken.
You could also probably find good crackheads. I bet you could find that on YouTube too.
Oh, yeah. Or bum
Wholesome
fights.
bum fights. Good crackheads. Good crackheads, aka wholesome crackheads, only found on YouTube.
Hey, that's me. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Definitely
you
kidding.
just sell it. You just sell it. as
No, I
gift
don't. God, the FBI is definitely watching me for more than one reason. Guys, I don't know where the fuck it is, but merch is on the way.
we swear to God, we're not just gaslighting you guys.
Yeah,
It's
I'm just
happening.
backing it up
really
because we've been
is.
talking about it for so long now, but I really don't know where the
Frustrating
fuck it is. If I'm gonna be honest,
we don't know. It's been shipped.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's out there in the netherworld.
Lost forever.
I don't know. Maybe some fucking contracted FedEx ground driver damaged the package and they just haven't told us yet.
There's just some random fucking family of 6 in the Midwest with a bunch of good Kraken merch.
It takes a little while for merch to print. Does it?
This long though?
I used to work for a fucking merchandising company, okay?
Doesn't feel like it should be that long.
Yeah, it's really shouldn't. There's some issues. I think the only thing that makes sense for taking as long as it is that one piece of ceramic.
Hmm.
And even then,
yeah, even then. Or no, it's like I put the order in 2 weeks ago. Fuck off. All right, guys. Garrett, could you tell the people what we got going on next?
what? Oh yeah, we have some things coming on, and we're gonna channel our inner Deadpool and get meta for a minute because it's the meta minute.
Meta minute.
The proposal.
Minute. The proposal.
Dude, that shit's in the trailers now, by the way. But that shit fucking took me back in the theater. That's so.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can break the fourth wall too.
I
Quiet
can
for like 2
gently-
seconds.
What did he say? I can gently tap the fourth wall.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And then it got quiet for like
The
2 seconds,
proposal.
and he looks right at you, goes, "The proposal."
The proposal.
Is that what you fucking think I do?
Bitch, is that the...
I need to go see that movie again. Still
Oh,
so
yeah.
badly.
I still need to see that.
I'm gonna go see it for a third time, probably this weekend.
Dude, they just opened a movie theater literally within walking distance of my house. My area is kind of glowing up over here, so
So what you're saying is I should move out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
The economy's great out here, actually.
It's probably a lot better than fucking Portland.
But anyways,
yeah.
we were doing a thing. We're
Yeah,
actually
you
doing
got
content
you
right
got
now,
the
and
thing.
I got it. This is my turn. Hi-Fi Rush Dev is back from the dead and will continue developing the series. This is coming from Kenneth Shepard over at Kotaku. 3 months after Microsoft unceremoniously shut the studio down, Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks is being revived by PUBG publisher Kraken. The company has acquired both the studio and the rights to the Hi-Fi Rush IP and plans to expand on the rhythm-based action game as part of the acquisition. Woo! So not only is the studio finding new life under new management, but now the little passion project that could gets to live on instead of dying after one excellent game. According to Krafton's press release on the acquisition, the publisher says it's working with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at the studio, which Krafton said in its press release, which will allow the studio to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. The announcement also makes clear that Tango Gameworks' previous games, like the original Hi-Fi Rush, the Evil Within series, and Ghostwire Tokyo, will remain on digital storefronts even after the studio makes a transition. This is such good news to hear after the tragic, senseless closure of Tango Gameworks earlier this year. The Hi-Fi Rush developer was only one of 3 studios Microsoft shut down back in May. But the apparent success of the rhythm action game in the year prior made it all the more shocking. The fallout that followed has put the notable stain on Xbox's management reputation, as it's been one of the higher profile shutdowns in a year full of industry turnover. While we don't know what specifically Tango Gameworks will develop in the Hi-Fi Rush universe after this, it is at least good to know that the studio and series' future are looking bright once more. The game never did come to Switch, despite the rumors earlier this year, so maybe that port is still in the cards. If you haven't played Hi-Fi Rush, I just replayed it recently, and it holds up. I bet it feels even more cathartic in light of this news, says Kenneth.
Sweet. I think this is rad. I think this is super rad.
Part of me really kind of hoped that like some of the other studios might get saved too. I think the only one that's probably truly doomed is Arcane Austin. I don't see how that comes back in any way.
That's just like a division of Arcane.
Yeah, that's because shit. What was the other one that they closed this year?
Toys for Bob. Wasn't it Toys for Bob?
I'm genuinely unsure.
I'm gonna look it up.
I know there was 3. Yeah, please do. But no, this is really exciting because like even though like Ghostwire Tokyo wasn't like a smash hit, it was definitely like a solid title. I know a lot of people that played it and enjoyed it for what it was. The Evil Within is obviously like a beloved cult classic like action horror franchise. So I bet you we see new life from all 3 of these these IPs down the road. I'm fingers crossed, anyways. Definitely.
Okay, correction. Toys for Bob with independent. They broke out of Microsoft. But the other 2 studios outside of Arcane Austin and Tango were Alpha Dog Games and Roundhouse Games.
Alpha Dog was the one I think I was thinking of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
What is Roundhouse? What did they develop?
Let's find out because I don't know the answer to that.
Because I'm just very curious because like this is obviously like a very good sign. I mean, I don't think we're in the place yet where like the industry is healing, but like I know there are some people trying to like fight the good fight. Like obviously Crafton with this acquisition, Larian is like doing a lot of hiring. Like right now, trying to save like devs jobs and stuff and keep them in the biz.
They were the company that was attached to Arcane Austin um that worked on Redfall.
Oh, so they were like the subsidiary team that was involved.
But and that says that's all they've really done. I don't believe
It might have
that.
been it might have been like because I know that was like a really sloppy transition for that studio, so maybe that's kind of why that team existed in a weird, funky space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all it was. They were just like a very small studio out of Bethesda. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So those probably won't get saved, but I mean,
I
Alpha, like maybe Alpha Dog.
I
It can
mean,
happen, right?
let's be real. I mean, I'm gonna say it straight up. Redfall was ass, so I'm not
No,
surprised
it wasn't a good game.
with
Like
the budget that they
that was
received
the
and it
one.
turned out as bad as it was. I'm not surprised at all and that's their only game
The
they've
most
done.
justifiable. That's like the
Yeah.
most
Like
justifiable
it
of the group.
still sucks that they got shut down. Like don't get me wrong, but like I hate to be that guy and people may hate me for saying this. It just makes sense. I'm sorry. That one is justifiable in business practice. You
Yeah,
know.
that's the only one I can see. Like they literally made a product. The product itself performed abysmally,
Hmm.
right? And so like it resulted in a shutdown. Like that I could have seen like having happened independently, regardless of any of this.
Hmm.
I think like it was just convenient that they got to lump it in, so like they could just sweep it all in one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like I definitely
I
feel like this is probably a miracle event. Like I feel like this is probably the only studio that's realistically going to get saved out of this,
and
out of that closure.
it sucks too because like you know there's the reason why Tango Gameworks probably got involved in this whole closure is because it was underneath the Bethesda umbrella. And I bet you they needed to meet a certain requirement for it to be a substantial like tax write-off at the same time to cover losses from whatever,
Right.
which
Yeah, because you
really
know that
sucks to
that
say.
game didn't meet like its units sold by any stretch. Like that game was not successful.
And I say that only for people to realize the very shitty factor behind big business in video games. So,
Hmm.
Mhm.
yeah.
But hey, we're stoked that Tango Gameworks lives on at the very least.
Yeah, do you think that they try to explore Evil Within again? Do you think they have the rights to that? To
I
that
fucking
IP?
hope so.
I
That's the one I really hope because it didn't mention specifically like the IP rights for that game. When I was reading some of the other articles,
mm,
just that like the series as it exists now will continue to exist. I'm
mhm.
hoping that like the ultimate smooth transition will include those IPs because I feel like they're crucial to that studio. And I would love to see another Evil Within game.
Yeah, yeah. I will say they better make Evil Within and try not to make a sequel to Ghostwire Tokyo because Ghostwire Tokyo is not good. I tried playing it and it is not a
It's
good game.
definitely like Ghostwire Tokyo is like one of those games that like it like no matter how you shake it, it's like a seven. It's like a 7 out of 10, like sort of
I
thing.
wouldn't even say that. I spent like 2.5 hours, 3 hours playing that game, and I'm never gonna pick it up again. That game is mid as fuck.
I mean, I got like halfway through. It was all right. I got bored though. It was all samey.
Yeah. That laugh, DJ. You're like, yeah, it was. DJ,
Oh,
you ever
I
play
see it.
any Tango games?
Didn't
Not
you play
really.
Hi-Fi?
I played Hi-Fi. I'm
Yeah,
glad
okay,
that
that's what I
they're
thought.
like. I'm glad they're getting picked up. Like, it's just sad that this had to happen in the first place. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because their game was an all-around success by most metrics. You know what I mean? Like, just sucks that all that shit had to happen prior to this for them to hope. I'm glad that they caught a break and was able to get picked up and hopefully some good things come of it.
Mhm. I'd like to see a sequel to Hi-Fi. I bet you it'll be on Switch too. Like just like they said, that Switch port is coming undoubtedly.
Oh yeah, that'll probably be like their first thing they end up finishing. Because I doubt it wasn't unworked on by the time they got closed.
hmm hmm And it'll be a good way to like help like rejuvenate the studio and get things running again too. You know, get some more sales moving through. DJ, could you get this
What's
next
up,
one?
brother?
This
Yes,
next one,
sir.
sir.
I got you. Next up, we got Boss Team Games announces two 16-bit platformers based on the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead franchises. This comes from Taylor Lyles at IGN. To follow up on Boss Team Games' surprise announcement from yesterday, IGN can exclusively reveal the studio's next two games coming this October. In a press release, Boss Team Games announced Retro Realms, a new series of games for consoles and PC. The first two games in this new series are based on John Carpenter's iconic horror franchise, Halloween, and stars original series Ash vs. Evil Dead. Quote, everyone at Boss Team Games are huge fans of horror, and getting to work with these legendary properties is a dream come true, said Boss Team Games' CEO Steve Harris in a press release. It has been an amazing experience collaborating with Way Forward and our licensors to create not one, but two fast-paced 90s arcade-style games while remaining true to the original Halloween film and Ash vs. Evil Dead series. Uh, the trailer dropping today gives fans a taste of the gore-filled gameplay and fast-paced action. We can't wait to show more. Both Retro Realms Halloween and Retro Realms Ash vs. Evil Dead, as depicted in the announcement trailer, are 16-bit platformers. Both games are coming to PC, PS5, Switch, and Xbox on October 18th. Both games can be purchased separately via a digital storefront for $24.99 each. Or you can purchase a physical double feature bundle, which will retail for around $49.99. Although both games can be purchased and played separately, Boss Team Games incentivizes people to purchase both. As the studio notes in the press release, purchasing both will grant players access to new features. The announcement of these two games is just one of many projects that Boss Team Games currently has in the works. Yesterday, IGN exclusively revealed that it was also on an additional game based on the John Carpenter's Halloween IP. This game, which currently does not have a release date, will be running on Unreal Engine 5, and franchise creator John Carpenter is intimately involved in the project.
Interesting.
Dude, uh, you better not be intimately involved until that project until fucking Toxic Commando comes out. God damn it,
Yep,
I'm still
true.
waiting. I'm still waiting.
I'm
John
ready for
Carpenter.
Toxic
Um,
Commando.
yeah, me too. I know it's got like a short like comic run called like Rise of the Sludge God that's out right now that's kind of like leading up to it. Uh it's interesting. I think we're kind of in a fun place right now with games where like retro gaming is kind of making like a comeback, like, and it's not just like millennials and like Gen Xers and such that are enjoying those
hmm
kinds of games, like the older gaming generation. I feel like the Gen Z and Gen Alpha gamers are like genuinely interested in like this 16-bit like arcade style of game. Like it's like even if it is just for like retro nostalgia purposes, like we're kind of seeing like a little bit of a resurgence. Like side scrolling stuff is definitely making a comeback. Um I think I'm definitely like seeing like that these are getting created. Like I'm glad that they got a release date, but it's also a little frustrating knowing that like Toxic Commando is also supposed to come out this year. Like it's still like
Mhm.
through via Focus Entertainment. Like it's still slated for 2024. There's been no announcements of delays. And like but like that's still not happening. So, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the nature of the game with these being like 16-bit platformers. Maybe they're a little bit easier to design because we know what those games like look and play like because they're old.
I
Devin,
Mhm.
think John Carpenter's involvement with all of these is legitimately the storytelling aspect. You
I
know.
think you're probably right. Just making sure like they're respecting like the continuity of like the
hmm
IPs that he's working with.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say that because he's not known, to my knowledge, to be a game developer in any ways. Like this is his
Mm-mm.
the like Toxic Commando was the announcement of his first like foray into video games, right?
Yeah, he's just
So
really interested in that like medium now.
yeah.
Like he's been saying he's been playing a lot of games at home, and now he's wanting to like try to bring new IPs
Hmm.
and his IPs to like different consoles and stuff. I think
Hmm.
I'm more interested in the Ash versus Evil Dead over the Halloween one, as far as being like a 16-bit platformer. I feel like
Hmm.
that's got like a little bit more potential to be fun.
Hmm.
I
I'm
wonder what they're gonna
interested in
look like.
his AAA Halloween game that he's working on, though. I'm interested in
Yeah, me
that.
too.
Hmm.
I wish that Evil Dead game had had a stronger player base on it and survived
Dude, it was
longer.
so well made. It was so fun.
I
Like
loved
it was
playing that.
genuinely enjoyable. I loved Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, I just remember being good at that game. I just want to play it again. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see how this comes out. I don't know if I would per se spend $50 for both of these to tell you the truth. That's just my feelings. You know, I
Yeah,
did watch the trailer
I
for
do feel like
these.
that's a little steep for like a 16-bit games.
Hmm.
Just
Like they
given
have to
like
be
the
really
nature.
well crafted, dude.
Like yeah,
Like
I'm expecting them to basically like to replicate like the best of what this genre has to offer.
Yeah,
Like
and it looks very retro feeling, which we have like modern side scroll beat 'em up style games and adventure platforming
yeah,
games
Shovel Knight.
coming out. I mean, look at the latest Prince of Persia, and that is what,
Mm-hmm.
$35
Yeah, I think it's like a $40 game, and
at
it's like
most.
2.5D, and
Yeah.
it's like really really well crafted. Runs at like 120 FPS on the PlayStation 5, like super
Hmm.
well
it's a hard
optimized.
ask, dude.
Yeah, yeah. At that price point, anyways, I think we're definitely paying for like the price point is definitely being like inflated by the IPs involved.
It would have made more sense if you sold them both for $20 a piece and then sold them as a group for 35. That's just my
Yeah,
personal opinion. That's my personal opinion on that matter. But I'm also a cheap
but you're
fuck.
not saving any money, but like by buying the bundle either. Like it's just
Yeah.
you're just buying them
Like
together.
it should be at the most
Like
$45. At the
yeah,
most.
give me like a $5 discount at least. Like
Yeah.
I'm buying both of your things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Um but yeah, I mean, if they come to Game Pass ever, I'll probably try them out that way. Just saying. Just saying. You know, I still have it. Even though I'm pissed at Microsoft, I still have it.
Oh god, I still have my Game Pass.
Yeah. No. I actually saw a story pop up while we were doing this, so I added this on the fly for myself. Uh, Deadlock, Valve's new hero shooter, is quietly amassing thousands of playtesters. This is coming from Rebecca Valentine over at IGN. We've known since earlier this year that Valve was quietly working on a new game, a sort of cross between hero shooters and MOBAs called Deadlock, but we never got an official announcement. Now it looks like thousands of people are already playing the game in some sort of early playtest, with the game reaching over 18,000 concurrent players earlier today. And that was of yesterday. That was on the 12th of August. Um, Per Steam DB, Steam database, Deadlock player count started slowly climbing earlier this month, reaching a peak of 18,254 earlier today and expected to climb further. IGN understands that the game's current early access period is operating under an invite system, where certain Steam users are receiving invites and can then suggest other individuals to also receive invites. It's kind of interesting. It's like there's been a lot of playtesting in Steam lately. It's kind of cool, like a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Screenshots and video game footage of the game available to the general public remain minimal, given that the players are required to sign a strict NDA before being permitted to play. However, players are free to discuss their experiences with the game with a quote unquote deadlock the game subreddit already accruing members and discussion of early impressions. What we know so far is that Deadlock seems to be a mishmash of hero shooter a la Overwatch, and MOBA with lane-based gameplay like Dota 2 and tower defense elements. It takes place in a fantasy slash steampunk setting. While we haven't gotten good looks at it at its hero cast just yet for the reasons outlined above, everyone currently playing seems to really love one character in particular. Um, and there's a screenshot from Twitter, and it looks like a character. It looks like a Sly Cooper ripoff, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, like a Sly Cooper ripoff. You can. I'll link the IGN article here in chat.
Hmm.
But with the growing player base and invites seemingly available to anyone willing to ask, it seems likely that an actual for real official announcement of Deadlock may be imminent. Valve's been on a bit of a spree with stealth releases lately, having quietly dropped Counter-Strike 2 last year and Half-Life Alyx being announced just a few short months before its eventual release. Looks like hero shooters are coming back full force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like looking at some gameplay of like kind of like on YouTube as you were giving like your little chit chat, and this literally just kind of looks like it doesn't look special. I will say that much. It does not look special at all. The art style reminds me. I personally can tell you I won't touch this with the 10-foot pole because the art style reminds me too much of TF2, and I fucking hate that game with the hatred and heat of 1,000 suns. Like fuck Team Fortress 2. Like that literally one of like the most god awful like communities I've ever had the pleasure of displeasure of sitting in a game lobby with. And I can't imagine that this game will be any different just because it's a Valve title.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also like you dude, like I don't really fuck with like the whole mixture between like hero shooters and MOBAs. Like it's because I don't feel like that they ever execute like when it comes to those like sorts of like hybrids. I'd like it, I don't know. That night at the end of the day, I've only really got one. I've only got room for one MOBA in my heart these days, and it's Smite.
Yeah. I,
Mm.
I don't play MOBAs
I mean,
personally.
dude, Smite 2 is coming out at the end of the month and Unreal Engine 5, and I'm already locked in. I don't know. This will probably be immensely successful and popular because TF2 has such a crazy fan base. Especially if this like is really fresh. Like the characters and the abilities like definitely look like they were at least semi interesting. It looks like they were kind of playing into like more of the paladins sort of like character design where like is a little bit more like bombacious and fun. Like I saw one character that looked like they were like a dragonoid person carrying a crossbow. So like it looks like they're at least trying to have some fun with the designs, but I don't know. I'm already like getting kind of exhausted with all these hero shooter announcements because I know I'm never going to get to play them all, and I know that the one I do play I'm probably not going to be good at, and it's probably going to be Marvel Rivals.
Mm.
There's a little something
Yeah.
in that game for everybody. I think you'll like that one. I think you'll like it. Um, but yeah, no, I do find hero shooters to be somewhat exhausting myself. I notoriously don't actually like Overwatch, you know, um, personally, but I like Marvel Rivals. I don't like Valorant either. It's just not my cup of tea. So,
Mm.
but I did think it
Will
was
you do you
interesting.
think you'll try this out, Deadlock? Like if you ever like, I mean, it'll is hold on, is TF2 free to play? I actually legitimately can't
I don't
remember.
remember. I have TF2 on the Xbox because of the orange box.
It's free to play.
And but
Free to
but
play.
it's literally
So,
been too long. I'm pretty sure. So, do you think this will be a free to play title, or do you think it'll be? Is
if
it
it's
Counter Strike 2 is
not,
free to play?
if it's not, it won't survive. That's
Yeah, I think it has
fair.
to be free to
I
play
think
because
it
I think
has to be.
they followed this free to play like model for a while now. The only
But yeah, that is
time
kind of their
those
thing.
games ever costed anything was if you had to buy them in a bundle in the orange box for consoles, and that was it. That was the only
which I
time.
did.
And for Counter Strike Global Offensive, the new the old one, it's you had to. I remember paying for it. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Back in the day, but they switched to free, and their game like they make their money off of the in-game economy. So, um, yeah. So I think it has to be free. They have to do it.
That makes sense. That makes sense, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
You think you're gonna try this out at all, DJ?
I'm gonna give it a try because it's Valve. I like they don't have like a insane track record. You know what I mean? But when they do make a game, it hits.
Mm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this. I'd be surprised if this. Well, the only time it didn't hit was Artifact, the card game. You guys remember that? Everyone thought
No.
it was gonna be Half-Life 3, and they're like, they
No.
made a card game, or it was based off like, yeah, yeah. That's how bad it was. It was like it was such a flop that like that they used the category on Twitch to like stream like other things, like gambling or something that's against TOS. Like that's how dead the game was. Like that's when
That's
we're talking
fucking
about dead
wild.
games in a second, but that was a truly dead game. That was truly a
Wild.
dead game.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah,
Mhm.
the more I think about it, the only game that I would play from Valve would probably be something like a Half-Life 3 or adjacent.
I literally think that's what everybody wants, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever gonna happen.
It's crazy. Like how would you be sitting on that IP for a decade when people want it? It is memed into oblivion.
Begging for it, literally begging for it.
And you're one of the biggest companies like in the gaming space that has
Like,
I
you
all
know
think.
the
they can
money to
afford to
do
make
it.
it happen too. They can do it. I
Yeah.
know they can do it.
Wait for what again?
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life.
I mean, we got that. Technically, kind of got that with Half like Alex.
No, that was like
Eh,
adjacent to Half-Life
Half-Life's
2.
not the same.
Yeah, that's not
I
Half-Life
mean,
3.
but like that, they'll probably consider that's theirs, dude. You know, what I mean? That's their Half Life
But
Three.
it's
Like
only
here,
on
fucking.
VR, dude. It's not the
I
same.
don't
It's
know,
not
man.
this.
That was like adapt or die, bitch. Adapt or die.
Which I mean,
This
see,
is the
they
new
can do
age.
that though because they have so much money. You know what I mean?
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think it's probably like I was gonna say like maybe it's just like too far now, too long. But they literally made Half Life Alex like as I thought of it. I was like, oh, well, I mean they can. They probably
Yeah, they
can.
can. Dude, games and movies and TV shows get sequels and spin-offs well after like
I feel like it's
they've
been
been
so
around.
long that I think expectations are like gonna be too high
Dude,
if they ever
Half-Life
do
2
try
came
to
out when
make
you
it.
were an infant. Not really,
Yeah,
but still.
I still haven't played it. I've played Half Life One, but I still
Yeah.
haven't played two
I've
yet.
never
Dude,
played a
uh,
Half-Life game.
uh
Really?
Garrett
You need to
No.
play. You need to play Black Mesa, dude.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
what I
like
was
a
gonna say.
refresh version. You gotta play Black Mesa.
Yeah,
That's how I
so
experienced
so
it.
that's
It's way
how
better
I
that way.
experienced Half-Life 1. I played Half-Life 2 on the orange box on Xbox
Mm.
360 because I bought the orange box. I played Portal and Half-Life 2 that way. Um, which was
You,
actually,
you got you gotta play Black Mesa, dude.
yeah, Black Mesa is
Garrick. I feel
really
like I
good.
feel like I feel like you have to. I feel like you
Yeah.
have to, dude.
Like, is that part of the Half-Life
So
franchise?
Yes. So it's a
well,
remake. It was originally a mod that was being done by the community, and they were remaking the game themselves. Valve took notice and actually funded it, and then released it on the Steam store through Valve.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like an unofficial official remake.
Yeah, it
I'll have
was
to get that around. I'll
unofficial,
have to get
then
around to
made
that
official.
when
Mhm.
I'm back on the PC and
Yeah,
on
I sent you a
gaming on
Steam
the
page
PC
link.
side.
No.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
get a good look at it.
But yeah, I'll look at it. For me, I have to see gameplay that convinces me, because that's what I saw with Marvel Rivals. Is I saw what the gameplay was and how the characters were and the art style, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. I played it, and I was like, all right, I like this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So because it did what I needed for that style of game with those characters to do. You know what I mean? That, and like I'm more like attracted to it because it's an IP that I really like.
That's definitely going to be like the big
You-
thing for me. Like, I like the character designs.
Shane, you paid for a key? All you had to do was watch a Twitch stream.
Yeah,
That's
why would you?
insane.
Don't pay for beta keys. Don't ever
Don't
pay
do
for
that.
beta keys. Don't
Don't
ever,
ever
ever,
do
ever
that.
pay for beta keys.
Yeah. Don't let Activision take your
Like
money
you
to get into a game for.
literally, yeah, somebody just scalped you.
Yeah. You got scout. You know what you can do when you're at work, Shane, next time they do something like that, just turn the Twitch stream on, like on your phone or on your computer before you leave or something. And then when the beta key becomes available for you, it'll just go into your inbox on Twitch. Boom. Don't even have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. It does. It definitely matters. Don't let people charge you for beta keys.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
That's a shitty practice.
Mm,
Not
yeah.
your
And
fault.
don't sell
It's their
beta. Oh
fault.
yeah, don't sell beta keys. But
Yeah. Not your fault. Their fault.
fucking
Okay.
losers.
Yeah, I think it's time we go into our next segment. Um, DJ, could you tell the people what we got going on?
Yes, sir. We got all our gear, got all our loot, completed all the side content, and we're here to get to the fucking end game, baby. I'm inevitable.
You couldn't live with your failures. So where did that bring you? Back to me. I love that line. I fucking love it. Guys, we are talking about what is a dead game? What defines
It's
it?
dead.
Can it be revived? Is it dead? Is it done?
Do we have
The-
the game's reboot
Should
card?
you
Do
even
we-
give a shit about what a dead
Yeah.
game is?
Does Ernell really have to pee? Who knows?
Yes, to pee.
Yeah,
I had to pee. I just left to pee.
I don't have to pee. But now that I think about it,
Now you have to pee now, dude. See, you. I'm
I don't
sorry.
know. I
Shouldn't have brought it up.
actually got thirsty.
No, it's Ernell's fault. Ernell's fault. You brought it up first.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. He's peeing right now.
Hot.
That's a philanthropy. As I type this.
Dude.
Ernell's sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet. Guys, we've definitely gotten some dead games this year. That is a matter of fact the truth of it. More notoriously, Garrick has dealt with probably the most notorious dead game of the year already. That being Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, dude. So honestly, the reason I even proposed like this subject at all was just like I've been seeing like a lot of various things online. Like there's been articles that have been circling on and off about Pal World all year about how it's a dead game, and like just because like it's got a low player count. And like I find that mind-boggling because I feel like we've really kind of like lost the plot on what a dead game is, and like because I also like saw some things like I've been seeing like these like this trend on TikTok and like on video game talk where like like it's like games that died instantly and like they're listing like single player titles and I'm just like I don't think you guys understand like what a dead game is, right? And like what it really means to like have a dead title on your hands, right? Because like there are games out there that are truly dead and you like and like that and to the point where like it's impacting your personal player experience, right? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about a dead game. A dead game, folks, I'm just gonna tell you what the definition is, and then we can discuss as to why some of these games really are or are not dead, right? A dead game, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thents, is a multiplayer title. It has to be a multiplayer title. A single player title cannot be a dead game. At that point, it's just old, retro, or forgotten. Take your pick. But it can't have died because it was never alive online to begin with, right? Like that's what we're talking about. Online, live games. Okay? So it has to be a multiplayer title, and it has to be a multiplayer title where you cannot matchmake, find another player, get into those activities that requires you to be present with another person in that community or player base, right? To be able to get that activity, to get that gameplay experience done, right? There numerous actual dead games that we can list as examples for this, right? Anthem, prime example. You can log into that game. You can do everything that that game has to offer completely solo, but you cannot do end game content. You cannot queue up for something because you are not going to find people to play with, right? Unless you have a specific set of homies that have installed that game, right? To got together to play that game specifically, right? But at that point, it's no different than getting together on your favorite old RTS and doing a custom match with your dudes, right? That's what we're referring to here. But what I'm so sick of hearing is like shit like Hogwarts Legacy being a dead game. Fucking what? That was a single player game. Was never live service to begin with. Literally never had online capabilities. It's a single player story driven campaign. That's like saying The Last of Us died. It literally not possible, right? It was never designed to be alive. Like Anthem is a dead fucking game. Helldivers 2 is not a dead fucking game, guys. I literally logged on to 65,000 people on just this afternoon, right? Has its player count diminished significantly from the 700,000 people, right, that initially like bought and were playing this game? Yes. Is it dead? No. I can still matchmake. I can play everything with people. I have all of the content available to me to access and complete with players of the community.
Nah,
Right?
Garrick. A dead game, according to TikTok and social media, it's just if I haven't seen it on social media or if I'm not playing it, it's dead, dude.
Right, yeah, and you're right, DJ. That's how people are taking it. It's like, but now that these games are no longer in the conversation, right? That means that they've proverbially died, right? Like I literally saw like somebody say that like Jedi Survivor was a dead game, and I'm just like, I literally what? Like that game was talked about for months after its release. It had its cycle, it had its hype. People had its discussion around it. People beat the game, and they put that game to bed. That's how a single player game goes, right? Like at most we get like we revisit every once in a while on a new game plus session. But like another thing that I've really that like I really agree with is like there's been some articles that have been released by around about interviews with the Pal World devs about how like Pal World is this colossally dead game because its player count has basically dived into the dirt.
23,000 right now.
Yeah,
playing right now.
that's
fucking
still
what?
good.
That's not a dead game. It's a crafting survival game for fuck's sake. Like literally, you can play everything in that game all on your lonesome. Like literally, it might be enhanced by its multiplayer features, but it is not. You're never detrimented by not having access to them.
Didn't they just add PvP stuff?
They did
Something
as a
like that.
brand new feature, right? Or like it's like a brand new feature that just got added in, and obviously, like I'm people are still getting access to, and like they can still engage in that thing. Like,
Mhm.
how many people are playing Rust right now? Just out of curiosity.
Let's find out. Probably a decent amount.
Probably a decent amount. I know that's like a very popular crafting survival game. That's why I'm kind of using it as like a parallel.
Mhm.
63,000 as of right now.
And let's see.
63,000, 43,000 in like when you're talking gaming communities that's not a big difference, folk. And that's like the difference between like when that player base chooses to be active, like whether or not it's like we're talking peak times, like it's 8, 9 or late o'clock respectively, like for us at the time of this recording. Right, like so this like we're well past like most peak time for a lot of players. Like peak time is kind of from like 6 to 9 like on the weekdays and shit, peak times are even less in during like the weekends. Also, I think everybody in the industry forgets that summertime is not it for fucking games. Everybody's player count diminishes during the summer because, believe it or not, most of us still like to go outside to some capacity.
Except for DJ and
Yeah,
Hernell.
man.
except for DJ and Ernell, right? And then and DJ's on his sixth replay of Cyberpunk for the summer, right? Like, you know, like he's
but like
inside.
gaming's dry for me, dude. I'm not playing new games right now.
But the thing is he's not playing anything new. He's replaying a single player title because it can't die. He can replay it at his leisure and still offer a complete and whole gaming experience. But if like literally if you go look at Steam metrics right now and compare it to like the beginning of May, like when summer began to now, I guarantee you most player charts have dropped by at least 10%.
So, a hilarious thing, I just looked up Borderlands 2 concurrent player count just on Steam, not counting Xbox, not counting PlayStation, or wherever else you can play it, because you can play that game like everywhere. It's like Skyrim. You can play it everywhere, which I'm surprised people don't give this game as much shit as they give Skyrim, because they literally came out with the shit on the Vita, okay? But right now it's actually sitting at 6,041 players, and this is a 12-year-old game. I looked up DayZ, one of the games that I have the most hours in, 13,000 players. That game's 10 years old too.
Yeah, dude, 13,000 players. And how often do you log on to a server populated with more than 20 people at a time?
A lot. Actually.
Regularly, right?
Yeah.
Like, so even like it's all about like you have to consider like these communities in respect to the games and like the kind of game that it is. Like, sure, there's only 13,000 total players, but they're always all going to be drawn to servers to be playing together, right? So like that game has a healthy, stable community. Like that's not dead by any stretch of the word. DJ.
Go ahead, Devin.
I was gonna say healthy and stable is questionable, because some of the people that play DayZ are very questionable.
Okay, but they're logging. They're logging in.
That community though,
stable from that perspective.
That community though is pretty like dedicated and crazy, because like the modding community for that game is outrageous. I've played there's a whole server that someone turned a map into a Fallout map, like with locations and vaults and everything in DayZ. Like that's a thing. There's another server I played on that was like these islands, and they turned everything into Jurassic Park and added over 80 different dinosaurs that all
I remember when you were playing on that one. I remember watching you play on that server.
That server is fucking wild. There'd be like groups of raptors running around going you know, doing their little noise thing and stuff.
Sounds of the deal.
Yeah,
man. Like it's so interesting, and like another thing that like I always consider like is that everybody uses like Steam charts as like the end all be all metric as to like whether or not these games are like existing and healthy, and like
as they do.
We fucking have crossplay like on a lot of these games now, guys, and like not all of those numbers are being crunched on every platform all of the time. Like you're just looking at one metric from one storefront. Even like some of these games exist on Steam as well as like fucking GOG and and Epic Games front store. Some of them have their own proprietary launchers. Like there are so many other factors that you guys are not looking at when you're looking at how many people are logging into these games and participating, before you're just like, it's a dead game because I can't log on to Twitch and see it in the top 10 every day.
I'm gonna say this is a dead game. That's just because I looked up the metrics. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. 115 players right now.
I would argue that game didn't even have the opportunity to live. And I'll tell you what, because the matchmaking was so bad, as somebody who has put several hours into that fucking game, like I literally never ever got to play with a random person. I didn't ever get to do it. I only ever got to play with my brother. That was it. I was never able to matchmake with somebody else because the player base was like, and it was never there. Like as far as like a live service game, that you can 100% you can consider dead. Right? Like you can't matchmake. You like everything you are doing completely solo. Like you have to treat it as a solo experience. There's nothing multiplayer or live service about it except for your leaderboards.
When did you stop playing that game?
The episode 1 of season 1, I literally unlocked the Joker and played it, and I was like, cool, this is the exact same thing I played in the preseason, and then I uninstalled it.
What time frame was that?
like what time of the year?
Yeah,
It was like in May, I think, maybe even a little later than that because they had to delay the
that
season.
makes sense. Because like May 27th is where they got their most recent like spike of players, and
Yeah.
even then, that was only
It was like, yeah,
561.
exactly. And that was just people coming back for season one. And like season two, honestly, launched like 2 weeks ago, and it's non-existent.
That makes sense because they had 572 players 2 weeks ago.
Yep, they released Mrs. Freeze. DJ, give your hand up.
I was gonna say, dude, like just to put this in perspective for people who are not convinced, right, about this dead game theory. Just let's say we do look at Steam DB, Steam database, right, to look at concurrent players. Helldivers 2 is considered quote dead game by a majority, but it is still top 30. It is the 27th most played game on Steam at this current moment. And let's say like 5 places, give or take. Let's look. Dead by Daylight, 41,000 players. People, I haven't seen people say Dead by Daylight's a dead game. Right now, Destiny 2, 42,000 players. No one has said Destiny 2 has been a dead game.
It's dead
It's
to
other
me.
factors is saying. It's dead to me. Rainbow Six Siege, 53K. Team Fortress 2, 50,000. No one ever says Team Fortress 2 is a dead game.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that argument.
And like literally, and I was looking at like the live Helldivers numbers on the game, right? Which is counting all live Helldivers across all platforms, and it was above 60,000, right? So this game is in a healthy place,
And
especially when you're comparing it to relevant stuff in the genre.
And we're not even at the 24-hour peak. 24-hour peak for Helldivers 2 was like 36,000. We're at 34,000, right? And I also wanted to bring this up for perspective. Forza Horizon 5. Has anyone said that's a dead game? How many players are on Steam right now? 6,000.
Yeah,
how about,
dude, and there are probably people queuing up the multiplayer races right now.
How about Ready or Not? Ready or Not had a big release early this year, like had a full release this year, right? What's the concurrent player base at right now? 5,000. Ready or Not at 5,000. Street Fighter 6. One of the better fighting games to come out in the last few years, and is probably the number one most popular fighting game, had the most entrants at Las Vegas Evo this year. The most entrants. 12,000 peak players right now. You want to know what Tekken 8's at? 6,000. Tekken 8. No one has said Tekken 8's a dead game. Albeit, not many people play fighting games like that, especially 3D fighters. But still, if you just looked at Tekken 8 Steam charts, you would think this game
you'd
was
be like, wow,
dead.
nobody's fucking playing this shit. But it's not about the raw numbers, right? It's about the kind of game we're playing, what it offers on that multiplayer front, right? Like how people are engaging with that community, right? Because 6,000 people like rotating through on Tekken 8, queuing up on like multiplayer matches, like chances of you repeating like that same fight with somebody like I don't know if they do like ELO or anything like that for like multiplayer like fought.
They do,
but,
they do
like,
rank stuff,
chances of you doing like your ELO like your like repeat matches on your ELO are slim to fucking none at 6,000 players. Man, like you're probably gonna have like several hundred people like at least within like your match bracket, right? Like so chances of you like fighting the same schmuck over and over again are like slim to none, right?
And that's Steam DB, that's just PC only. So, and I'm pretty sure there's even
more
metric on PlayStation.
One metric.
Yeah, even more on PlayStation, even more on Xbox, because it's crossplay. So, like, games, like the dead game argument just doesn't make any sense, especially when we're comparing Steam DB numbers. Like, it's not a dick measuring contest.
That's not that's literally like that's not the metric that we should be looking at. Like we should be looking at like what that game has to offer, like whether or not it's actually like you're having a devalued experience because of like a low player base, like right, like or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, everybody should just fucking play the games that they want to play, and you shouldn't be concerned about like player base. Like even on some of these multiplayer games, like obviously there are obvious exceptions. Like some of these games are like it's strictly like PvP stuff, but like even on some of these online games that are like MMO based, like you can still log in and play like 90% of what that game has available alone.
Mm-hmm.
I stand corrected. Daisy actually has 23,000 concurrent players. The launcher that I use to play counts players differently because I use a standalone launcher to play that game.
See, and like
And that
again, it's
standalone
another
launcher
metric
has
that's not being considered.
13,000. And then
Yeah.
Daisy also peaked at 50,000 plus whatever the standalone launcher peaked at, which is probably, I'm going to assume 20. So, like, that means there's 70,000 people just right there. People try to tell me
Yeah.
Daisy's a dead game. Not a dead game. Not a dead game.
It's all about the health of the community playing that game, right?
Mhm.
Like because some of these games like they have very tight knit groups where like you're not going to find like matchmaking, but they've got like incredibly healthy discords and like subreddits where people engage and interact there. Just because a game has lower player numbers doesn't mean it's dead, folks. Like at the end of the day, like there are so many games out there that really are dead, but you know what those ones are because you know that you have no shot even playing those games properly, right? Pal World, Helldivers 2, like fucking all of these brand new spanking hot fighting games with like, with like sub 10,000 players on just Steam, right? Like these games are healthy and they have vibrant communities because they know what they need to do within the gaming community and space that they exist in. Like understand that like we are losing the plot on what a dead game is, and you need to not care so much about what game is and isn't dead. Play the game that's fun. It doesn't matter if it's got a low player base. Log in, get your 1 to 2 hours in. If it feels good to play, you've had a successful gaming session.
Mm-hmm.
Games are meant to be fun, you guys. Like if you are so preoccupied about what is the coolest, hottest, most popular shit, like that's some weird metagaming that I can't get behind.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that, the number 2 most played game on Steam right now is a game called Banana.
Literally, banana.
And all you do is click
Just
on the
click
banana.
bananas.
That's it. That's all it is.
It's for like some real market trading type shit, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's that's why, because people can make money. But yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You could sell
because
the
like
bananas.
so you click a banana
There's
until you
rare
get like
bananas.
a inventory drop, like in your Steam inventory, and then you sell it onto the Steam community market for money or some shit like that. There's some shit that you can get money from it.
What? You can sell stuff in the Steam community market? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, dude, you can
Yeah,
sell
dude,
like skins and
that's why
stuff.
Counter-Strike,
Some
yeah,
like
skins.
there
and
are some
shit.
like crazy expensive Counter-Strike weapon skins,
But
like thousands of
the
dollars.
weapon skins, but they only go to your Steam wallet. That's why they do like third-party websites to sell
Mhm.
skins for cash. Like there's a skin that costs 10K. People move that shit, dude. Like Saudi Arabian princes like have a CS:GO inventory just because they can buy a fucking $1 million knife, dude. Just have it.
That's
Yeah, dude.
I'm not
wild.
even lying. I'm not even being facetious.
I
Like
know, I
that's
know.
genuinely.
Yeah, right now, Garrick, there was a peak just today in this banana game. Are you ready?
Mhm.
502,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like
People are
that's what I'm
desperate
saying
for
though,
cash,
guys.
man. They'll do anything.
Play what you want to play, guys. Like
Yeah.
don't be concerned about like what is and isn't a dead game. Like I really truly like that's like my final piece on this. Like at the end of the day, you shouldn't be concerned about like dead games, and like a game that has truly died its final death, like you fucking know what those are because those motherfuckers have their servers shut off, right? Like that's
Spell
a
lock.
dead game. Like literally, yeah, like literally,
The
like
culling too, dude. Oh my god, you guys remember the culling?
yeah, exactly. Like they
Goodness.
literally
That's
do
a dead
not
game for real.
exist any longer. Like that's a dead game. Like fucking like
No.
it is
H1Z1.
gone to the ether.
H1Z1. That isn't that like
Oh.
the first
I think
iteration.
it's still going, dude. Is it?
That's the first iteration of DayZ, isn't it?
But like you know
No,
what?
it's like the first iteration of PUBG.
PUBG.
Or not
It was
PUBG, yeah, like
PUBG, but
battle royale games.
yeah, PUBG is where that's where the mod.
I think that's yeah. Oh yeah, DayZ came out of Arma.
Yeah, but it's just like there's so many games available, and like there's so many different kinds of games, and you just shouldn't be concerned about like what is and isn't dead because like there's thousands of people playing shit like Star Wars: The Old Republic and the original Lord of the Rings online. Like you just have to want to know where those communities exist and coexist and interact with one another. And you can literally get together with those people and still play that game in the way it was intended to play. It might do a little bit more homework, but like if you want to
Mhm.
play a game that's worth playing, like you're gonna find a way to make it happen.
And
Private servers and shit like this, like exist for games like for a reason. Like City of Heroes is like my favorite example of a dead game come back to life.
Yeah.
hey, dude, I was gonna say, yeah, dude, it's probably so easy to fall into the trap of like when you scroll social media, you don't see a game, and you assume that it's dead. Like I promise you, it's probably just your feed. Like you're just not seeing it because you're probably not interested in the game anymore. You're probably not even playing the game anymore. And I think that's why people hate on or like try to slap the dead label is because like they're probably not interested and they just want validation that I'm not playing the game anymore, so it has to be dead.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know what
hot
I mean?
anymore, so it's dead. Yeah, I get
It's
you.
still like that. It's shit like that, dude. Um, like people still make content for games that that have lower player count. There's still Helldivers content creators. Hell, the Russian Badger made a Helldivers 2 fucking video, and he was like way behind the curve of people like the hype of the peak hype of it all,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like just play the games that you enjoy and enjoy them. And if you don't like a game, don't like a game, dude. It's probably not for you. But it doesn't mean that it's dead, dude. As long as there's still people playing. As long as there's like fucking 5 people playing that shit and the servers are still up, dude. It's the game's still alive. Maybe barely, but it's still alive.
Yeah, I came across an article that I think is kind of funny. It's from Screen Rant, and it says 10 dead games that have the best chance for a comeback by the end of 2024. First
Okay.
game, Overwatch 2. That game's not
That's
dead.
not
It's
a
not
dead
a dead
That's not
game.
dead.
See,
That's-
this is exactly what
Yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah,
Read
yeah.
on, Devin. Read on, Devin.
Read it off. Read it off.
This one, I feel like it's a dead game, and I think we already agreed on this earlier, but Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Yeah,
That's
valid.
justifiable.
That's
That is
valid.
justifiably dead.
This
Like-
is also justifiably dead, in my opinion. Redfall.
Yes, 100%
Yeah.
justifiably dead.
I haven't looked at the charts for this. I don't know if you want to look it up for me, DJ, but Skull and Bones.
That's teetering. It's dying.
Yeah.
It
But
does
like,
have a very low player count, but it's also still got. I think it still has several, like a few thousand.
that was
I wanna
something
say a few
the fact that you can't go do pirate things not on a ship.
See, but that's even one of the ones where like I could argue it could be a dying game because like as somebody who played that game, I wasn't able to like actually engage in one of the end game pieces of content towards season 1 because there wasn't enough people for me to matchmake into the event because everybody had stopped playing. So
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
I can't get a player count from.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
man,
They
it's
turned
on.
it off. They never shared that data. Oh,
I just know there's multiple articles that say it dropped.
yeah, it's very
whatever it
low.
was.
It's
Yeah.
very low. So
Um,
that's probably another justifiably dead game in like the eyes of like in the definition that we've basically been like toting the line of here.
yeah.
Like you not be like your gameplay experience is impacted by the low player count.
Ooh, can you look this game up for me? This is a game I actually had high hopes for, but when it did its full release, it just was not as good as the beta, in my opinion. But Multiverses.
Multiverses.
Oh yeah,
Let's look.
I wouldn't see it, and that's one I wouldn't know if it was dead. But like if it's got
3,000.
see, and like 3,000,
That's-
it's got 3,000 players. Street Fighter 6 has got 6. Like that, I feel like that's respectable in
Yeah.
the space, right?
They need to do something to make a big comeback for that game. You know what I'm saying? They need to do something in
It
my
needs
opinion.
staying power, but it's not dead.
Yeah. This one actually might be dead, but may have a comeback in it. Payday 3.
Ooh,
Let's
that
look
one
at
that one
Payday
could
3.
be that one could be a close one. That one did have a really big update
Four-
recently. I'm not sure how
400
old that article
players.
is.
400 players.
Yeah.
So that's
400.
That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Like,
800 player peak, dude, or
Yeah.
a 224 hour.
that's
peak,
kind of rough, right? Like like 800 players, like you're probably going to be looking at extended queue times, right? Like you're probably going to be playing with the same group of individuals over and over again. Like that's what we're talking about here. Like your gameplay experience is now being directly impacted by that reduced amount of players, like lower player pool, less experienced players, or like on the exact opposite, like it's just only sweaty players that have been playing since
Dude,
that game has launched.
it has a Tekken 7 has more players than Payday 3.
That's crazy.
Tekken 7.
That's crazy.
We're on 8. Holy shit. That's yeah. That's you could say it's near death. Very much near death.
Right, like very concerning state for that game.
Yeah. Now here's a game that I played at launch that I was really excited for. I wouldn't be surprised if it is dead because there was something lacking in this game and it has so much potential. Keep in mind this is in early access, so they could still come out with a full release, for this game that could bring it back. But Nightingale.
Ooh, Nightingale.
Yeah, and that's another one that's like it's a crafting survival, but it can be played like mostly solo.
193.
Dude, see, damn. I'm not surprised. I'm not really surprised.
Rough,
the game
that's very rough.
Yeah.
That's worse than Payday 3, dude.
It couldn't keep my attention.
Is that a game that you're supposed is it designed to be played with other people?
Yes. There's like dungeons and raids that you're supposed to do within the surviving crafting game. Let me see if I can find it in my Steam because I spent some time playing it.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, that's incredibly low. Even for like an early access, like that's a pretty swift.
I spent 12 hours playing that game and in my time it wasn't enough to keep me hooked.
I feel like for that genre that's very low for you.
Yeah. It has such a cool concept and it has really good artwork and cool design, but it just takes forever to get anywhere with it, right? And I'm not surprised by that at all. I was actually thinking about this game the other day, and I was
that one could turn around though. You're right though, because of its early access nature. It's not out of the woods, but it would have to make a big 180 by the time it got full launch.
I was literally thinking about this game the other day, and I was like, can I get a refund on that? But Ark Survival Ascended. Is that?
Isn't that that's just an update, isn't it? Yeah, those like literally like they have like a dedicated player base.
Wait, you mean Survival Evolved or
Ark Survival Ascended is what it says.
I thought that wasn't that just an update or is that a standalone? I don't play this game.
No, it's different. It has a different. It has 11,000 players on it.
Yeah, what the fuck? Not a dead game.
That's not dead for a crafting survival. Most of like that like. It's got 10,000 players. Ark most crafting survivals have like a server limit of like 60 players, guys.
It didn't even peak like 100K.
Hundreds of full servers.
Okay, this one's gonna make you fucking laugh.
Say it. All right, just say it.
Number 2 on the list, Diablo 4.
Get the fuck out of here, dude!
You're out of your fucking
way. That is the most undead game. Like, you're crazy, dude. Even when that game abysmally in the toilet, I guarantee you there were still probably hundreds of thousands of people logging into that fucking shit daily.
On Blizzard? It's on Blizzard.net, right? And
it's on Steam too.
It's on Steam now too.
But on Steam, it's on DB, it's 17K on Steam DB. On Steam alone, there's 17,000 players.
Yeah, dude, I guarantee you the player count is crazy high if you're looking at the proprietary launcher.
Let's see, statistics.
And on console, because it's on console too.
Yeah, a lot of people play it on console. Actually, I like playing that game on console in my living room. Let's see, overall players in the last hour, 159,000.
That's not a dead game. Not a dead game.
Dude.
That's a healthy game.
Active players over the last 30 days. This is the counting every individual player that's logged into the game in the last
unique
30
logins.
Days. Yep. 4,075,000.
Yeah, that's not a dead fucking game. That's like a literal entire fucking state's worth of people logging in to play this shit.
Yeah. Twitch watched hours Um, 7,283,000 in
Yeah,
the
y'all
last
gotta
30
bring this
days.
definition back into
Yeah,
perspective.
dude.
Diablo,
Yeah,
calling Diablo 4 is a dead game is crazy. What's the first one on the list? I gotta know now.
Yeah,
we gotta know.
and I just one more statistic on it. Diablo 4 has gained 141,000 new players in the last 30 days too.
Yeah, because literally a new season 5 just started. They like hit an all-time peak on Steam when season 4 dropped at like 29,000, but that's just a one launcher. Like
Now,
Diablo 4 is literally it's always going to be exist. It's the most healthily on Blizzard's proprietary launcher.
yeah. This one's gonna make you really mad because it's not even a multiplayer game.
Oh my god.
No.
It's gonna
say
make you
What the
really
fuck is it?
mad.
I
Don't
swear to
say
god.
City Skylines 2.
A fucking city sim game? What the fuck, Screen Rant? You gotta be kidding me. This I love. I'm so glad that we read this article at the end of our discussion because it literally proved everything we just fucking talked about
Mhm.
up and down. Like you guys gotta fix the definition on what a dead game is in your heads because that is not it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is there any like multiplayer in that game at all? Like, can you build cities together? Like,
I don't know. But like literally they're
there's
trying to
there's
say
still
that
5,000 people playing. 5,000 right now.
What's it? So it's called City Skylines 2.
Yeah. This is so funny. This is so funny. I'm gonna read this paragraph. Immediately upon
it's literally
getting
a single player game. It's literally single player only.
I'm going to read this paragraph for you real quick. Immediately upon getting feedback, Paradox Interactive and Colossal Order directly addressed the issues and pulled back all other projects to focus on making a roadmap of fixes and updates to City Skylines 2. I do remember there were some issues at launch, but they fixed it pretty quickly. Already there has been noticeable difference with many more major patches on the horizon. If it continues to be handled correctly, City Skylines 2 has the foundation laid to easily make one of the biggest comebacks in video game releases, similar to the turnaround scene with Cyberpunk 2077 and No Man's Sky. This is a fucking
oranges.
reach. This is a reach. This is such a reach.
Like you're comparing one of the most popular genres of video games of all time, an RPG, to one of the most niche fucking genres of video games of all time, a city sim. Like literally the fact that that game has 5,000 players right now at 9:30 p.m. on a fucking Tuesday, dude.
In it.
Right? Like, come on. Like that you do. We all know exactly what motherfuckers are sitting in front of like their computer playing that game right now. They're all 45 years old, dads, with 2 hours after work and a beer in their hand. Like they're gonna get to it. They're gonna get 10 hours trying to recondo all the city foundations because they're tired of hitting fucking potholes on their blue collar job, riding to and from work every day, and they think they can do better than the city planners. That's who's playing City Skyline 2, and that bitch is healthy. You get out of your mind, Screen Rant.
I kind of want to play that game now. Just with that like description you gave. Is it on Game Pass? Let's find out.
Dead game. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, no, that article proved my point. Straight up proved my point. Thank you, Screen Rant. You did my job for me this evening.
It is on Game Pass. Let's go.
See? There you go. Now you too can join in on the middle-aged dads and building a better city than the city planners.
That means there's more than 5,000 people playing this because it's on
100%, dude.
Yep.
100%.
Oh, well, I think we could just rant about this whole topic forever and ever, but I feel like we can all agree that a lot of people are using the term dead game to just be toxic about a game they just don't like right now, or they're unhappy with some changes that made, especially for Helldivers 2. That's definitely the case.
That's definitely why that gets tossed around for sure.
Yeah. And it's just another term being thrown around by the by the toxic agenda. um, but let's talk about what's not dead, and that's us, because we do have a lively schedule this week. Tomorrow we have a splash damage, because splash damages have moved to Wednesdays. If you're still listening, we are doing splash damage tomorrow on Wednesday. DJ and Xander are gonna try and play Spectre Divide tomorrow.
Yep.
If everybody can get the playtest running accordingly. It's been really hard to get into that game lately. DJ is trying everything, and they're being real jerks about it. Yeah. But it is tentative what we might play if that doesn't work out. Maybe some Helldivers. There was a Helldivers.
Yeah, we gotta back up. You can play that Escalation of Freedom.
Yeah. Maybe
the Spectre Divide is first on the list. That's the priority title for you.
I would suggest Mecha Break, but they're ending the play test today, so
yep.
That game's fun. I'm glad I spent some hours. I was able to do everything, get all the mechs, and I tried out a bunch of them last night.
So excited to play that game.
Javelin one that Ernell was talking about yesterday, that I figured out how to play with it, and I did a whole match without dying.
Nice.
Yeah. I figured it out. Yep. I said Javelin. Anthem PTSD. For real. Thursday we have nothing going on, because on Friday, that's right, Friday, we have another episode of 20,000 Films Under the Sea, where we will be reviewing Alien Romulus. That'll be a spoiler-free review, and that'll be here at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, 10 p.m. East Coast, Beast Coast time. DJ, are you seeing that movie?
I'm not. You guys are.
Yeah. Garrick, you're joining in on that one, right?
I sure am. Yeah. I need to rewatch the first, just the original Alien, because I understand this one takes place after Alien but before Aliens.
I didn't even know that.
I've not. I actually I kind of fell off the Alien franchise. I haven't seen Alien Covenant or Prometheus.
Dude,
so
dude, fuck rewatching the first Alien. All right, I'm gonna say that right now. Watch Prometheus, watch Covenant, because those are prequels.
Yeah, I do know that they're prequels. I understand where they fit into the timeline. I'm just not sure
Prometheus
if I need to watch
is
those.
not trash, Geo. Get the fuck out of here. It is not trash. Don't listen to him. Don't listen.
I just heard it was different.
It is different, but I like it. I like it personally. Yeah, it's I think it's pretty good. It's got Michael Fassbender in it. Same with Covenant as well.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm playing a little bit of catch up on the franchise to go see that movie this Thursday.
Guys, let us know what game people say is dead that bothers you. You can join our Discord and talk about it in there, because the only games that are truly dead are Spellbreak and Anthem, because I looked those.
Spellbreak. Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Spellbreak. That was the
Rogue
one. That was
Company.
the one.
Oh my god, Rogue Company.
One battle royale
Rogue
game
Company
I liked.
dead.
No. Yeah. What? Hyperscape.
Oh yeah, that's a dead game.
I low-key enjoyed the fuck out of that game.
Yeah.
Is X-Defiant dead? Will we classify this dead? I don't know. They don't have a Ubisoft DB.
Oh, dude, I forgot that game existed, so probably that conversation came and went.
Might be still being played. Who knows?
I remember I didn't like how that game actually moved around. I didn't like it personally. Yeah. Guys, this has been Good Kraken's Death Ratio, your choice for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday in it at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time. If you liked what you heard, you can head on over to our Discord channel, where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio and leaving a review there. We have to go, but until next time.
Goodbye.